I have to tell you, I've led a charmed life by just doing what I'm allowed to do. I still can't believe that to this day, I wake up in the morning and I get to do what started off as a hobby, and that's my job. It's a kind of ultimate non-job, you know. It's brilliant. I get up and I go into the studio and I make a record, or I go out on tour and I sing to people, and somebody pays me for it. All the stuff that I mentioned in there, the early stuff about, you know, being born in a tenement in Glasgow, it's all true. The icicles on the inside of the window, it's all true. But it's no hardship, because I didn't know any different. Everybody I knew lived in the same situation. It was all the same, so I had nothing to gripe about. When I was 14, I started playing in bands. It was brilliant. What a great thing to do. I had a guitar. I thought that would make me attractive to the opposite sex. And for a while it did. And it was fabulous. The whole thing was fantastic. But my old dad, who was 4, drove a bread van all his life and probably hated every minute of it, instilled in me that I should get a job that initially, this time, I will pick up my guitar and I'll go off and do what I want to do. And to their amazement, and even more to my amazement, they said, follow your heart. Do what you think is right. And I did. I went off and did this. If I can't be asked to go to the studio, you know, every morning and sit there in front of a blank screen and try and create something from just little ideas in my head, then I've failed miserably. I did this, it was a very bizarre thing. I was in New York about 10, 12 years ago. My record company, one of the big 5 record companies at the time, BMG, invited me out to New York to come and help promote an album that I was out there doing, and just be on call for whatever they wanted me to do. And I said, okay, that sounds like fun. New York for a month, little apartment, it's great. And one of the things they wanted me to do, and this is directly after me leaving Ultravox. Ultravox were huge, not as a band, they were a big band, but everything that Ultravox did was huge. Huge stage sets, huge lighting rigs. Everything was larger than life. It had to be, it's what we did. You know, we did this massive stuff. And I was still trying to kind of come back to reality from all of that. Because when you leave a successful band, a successful situation, it's a bit like leaving a job and moving down and starting all over again. You have to kind of start from scratch in front of an audience by a DJ who loves songs. His big passion was songwriting. And a lot of these guys I've subsequently found out are actually kind of unsung heroes. The artists get all the acclaim, whether they've written it or not. You know, Cliff Richard's never written anything in his life. Elvis never wrote anything in his life. Kylie's never written anything in her life. There's songwriters there who put the words in their mouths. So this thing was happening, and I said, no. I don't do the acoustic singing thing. You know, I need a band. I need my 20 synthesizers, my drum machines, and all of that stuff. And they said, look, you have to relearn 4 of your songs and one thing that you wish you had written. Because no matter how good you think you are, there's always someone round the corner who's infinitely better, you know, who can write something more interesting, who can play better than you, who can sing better than you, who can do your job 10 times better. So I sat in this little apartment with an acoustic guitar. Try playing Vienna on an acoustic guitar. It just, you know, it leaves a lot of holes, you know. So I'm sitting there trying to find 4 things that I'd written that I could actually perform at this. And I have to tell you, my head was up my arse. You know, I was still full of the joys of Ultravox. And I sat on this stage. I went down very, very unwillingly, and I sat on this stage next to the guy who was doing the interviewing. And there are 4 other songwriters who I had no idea who they were, you know. And I'm sitting there with this bad head on, you know, in a miserable mood, thinking, God, what a bunch of losers. Who are these people? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I'm doing it to make somebody else happy. I'm not doing it for me. And the guy at the far end introduced himself. And the interviewer said, can you play a song that you've written? And I'm sitting going, wait till it gets to me, I'll show them.